For some teams hoping to make the chase for the Nextel Cup Championship, the honeymoon is over. Disappointing finishes have cost precious points, and now back-to-back 2.5-mile tracks at Pocono and Indianapolis will be pivotal in deciding who makes the chase and who gets shut out. Pre-race story developing on pit road to Allen.
Well, Bill, sometimes to win a race, you need a little bit of luck, right? Tony Stewart been on a roll lately, a little bit of pre-race good fortune. On just moments ago on pit road, this is his crew changing a flat left rear tire on the Home Depot car. Better that that tire went flat sitting on the grid than before the car, say, rolled off and maybe on lap 1 or 2 caused a crash.
Wow. That was a huge break to be able to, they all go around, they check those tires just before they start, and the fellow obviously found the left rear flat, and I guess Tony's got to go to the end of the line.
Yes, he does. Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR, is the proud sponsor of the Budweiser Pole Award given to the fastest qualifier at each NASCAR Nextel Cup race. Budweiser congratulates Jamie McMurray for this weekend's race and the latest Budweiser shootout eligible driver. And he was a little bit of a surprise grabbing the pole here yesterday. Take a look at the starting grid for today's 500-mile race.
He actually shocked himself.
Yes, he did. It's Jamie McMurray and Kurt Busch in row 1.
Back in row 2, Martin. Everyone talks about the 6 car being maybe really good. Ryan Newman on the outside.
Mark is always good here.
Greg Biffle, Brian Vickers in 4.
Check out row 5. There's Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick. Could the winner come out of this road?
It certainly could. Johnson, the championship leader.
Great qualifying run for Scott Wimmer.
Yeah, and Schrader for that matter.
Row 7, Rusty Wallace looking for his 5th win here at Pocono, and Joe Nemechek in his Army Chevrolet.
Casey Kane, Jeremy Mayfield, teammates out in Abraham Motorsports, back in row 8.
Row 9, Jeff Burton and Scott Riggs.
Row 10, Jason Leffler and Dale Jarrett.
All right, Jeff Gordon got a long ways to go. Dave Blaney alongside.
Take a look at row 12. There's Bobby Labonte. He knows how to win here. And Michael Waltrip looking for a Pocono victory.
Michael Waltrip had to go to the rear of the field for a bend-up fender yesterday. Sterling Marlin, Jeff Green in row 13.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. and Kyle Busch. What happened? I missed everything yesterday. What happened to Michael?
He just unqualifying, brushed the wall, and had to beat the fender out.
You know those bumps you were talking about in turn 2?
Yeah. Exactly what happened.
Mike Wallace, Mike Garvey in row 16. Kyle Petty racing today, going on the charity ride tomorrow. He's right next to Mike Bliss.
Back in 18, Greg Sachs, P.J. Jones.
And as we take you through the rest of the field, let's update the situation. Dale Earnhardt Jr. way back there in row 19 with a car that has struggled all weekend. Tony Stewart will be able to hold on to his starting position because the tire simply went flat while the car was sitting there. There is no penalty from NASCAR.
Well, that's good news. Even better news.
Good news for that team, that's for sure. The rest of the guys would like to see him in the back. Here are the guys that didn't make the show. Waltrip, Sadler, Mears, and Carl Edwards all have to drop to the back of the field.
Let's see if we can get a hold of Ricky Rudd. Hey, Ricky, this is Wally up in the booth. You copy?
10-4, Wally, I got you.
All right, well, we know you're good here. You've won here, and you like these kind of racetracks. I think I'd like to get your thoughts on what your feelings over there about what they've done in turn 2.
Well, I'm not really sure what's going on over there. There was a bump there, a real severe bump that hasn't been there for years. It showed up here at the last race, and it's still there. They haven't done anything with the bump. Worked on it over there, but it's still a bad bump, and they've reworked the ripple strips over there to try to keep you off of them. But I really don't. I think we still got a problem over there. It needs to be addressed. Unfortunately, we're going to deal with it today. But everybody's aware of it. Should be able to handle it.
Now, this place is so important to be good on a long run. Are you guys pretty good on long runs? Because that's what seems like you need here to win.
You know, that's what it takes. We worked on it really hard in practice. Back everybody on the motocross Taurus team, Wood Brothers, they did a good job. We stuck up on it. You know, we didn't use a lot of camber to try to make the car work, and just kept working with combinations. And there in happy hour, I think we were 5th fastest before we did any qualifying runs. So I think we're set for a long run. We'll see. Time will tell. I hate making predictions, but I think we got a good car here today.
Good luck, Ricky. We will be watching.
Well, I say hello to my dad back home who's watching.
Ricky Rudd. And the rest of the field getting ready to take the green flag here at Pocono. Field still behind the pace car. We'll step away. We come back. We'll go racing in the Pocono Mountains, live on TNT. NASCAR flagman Rick Monroe and Rodney Wise in control of the field. Super Chef Mario Batali waves the green. We're racing on TNT.
Usually it's 3 or 4 wide going down in there. Everybody pretty much staying in line on this start.
Jamie McMurray has led only 1 lap all season. That was under caution at Michigan. Kurt Busch takes them to the tunnel turn.
Biffle in the 16 car, Brian Pickerson 25, side by side. Going into turn 3, the slowest corner on the racetrack.
Kurt Busch leads lap 1.
Marty Snyder told us in the pre-race show that Jamie McMurray has sat on 4 poles in NASCAR Nextel Cup and Busch Series, has never led the first lap. His record is still intact.
Here comes Tony Stewart inside of Brian Newman. And Mark Martin looking hard at McMurray. There's Stewart in the 20, Newman in the 12.
Normally if you get up on inside a guy right here going into turn 2, it's pretty much your corner. The guy on the outside has got to just crack the throttle a little bit because you need the whole racetrack to get through turn 2 fast.
While you were vacationing in Colorado yesterday, Newman's one of the guys that said he really likes the track. He said it's what we got to race. That's what they put out there. That's what we got to attack.
And I'm so delighted these guys were able to get through that tunnel corner, that first lap.
Nemechek on the high side of Jimmy Johnson.
That yellow car on the inside is Kyle Busch as he tries to work his way. That's Jeff Burton on the outside, trying to get on the inside of Jeremy Mayfield.
Casey Kane is well off the pace here, having problems early. Marty.
Extremely slow, Bill, and he just came on the radio. The crew actually asked what's going on, and he didn't say anything. Then he did come on the radio and say, guys, I am so loose, I can't hang on to this car. Wally, we've talked about this before. You have to start these race cars so loose because at the end of the run, they get tighter the longer they run. So sometimes it is a handful at the beginning of a run.
But you know what, Matt, I was talking to some of those guys down there with the Dodge cars, and it's not like that with their cars. If their cars start out loose, they get real loose. It used to be you have to start a car out loose because as you burn the fuel off, the cars would start to push. Not so for the Dodges. They are very, very tough to get a balance on these cars. So we're not sure. I mean, a right rear tire could be going down a little bit. That can make the car loose all of a sudden. But these guys are really having a hard time with the Dodges finding that balance.
Oh, it's always on one side or the other.
Carl Edwards and Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the move. Edwards, after starting at the back of the field, up to 29th. Earnhardt Jr. up to 30th. How about Edwards, Alan?
Well, Bill, I talked with his crew chief, Bob Osborne, before the race. He said they were going to preach patience to Carl. They have a fast race car. They believe they can get to the front, but he said, we've got all day to do it. There's no sense putting the car in a bad spot and getting in a wreck, trying to get there too quickly. We've got to pull at the reins on this young horse just a little bit at the start.
Kenseth in 17. Oh, with a 3 wide.
This is going to get ugly.
This is ugly is right.
Did he say they're trying to rein in Carl Edwards?
Yeah, that's right.
How do you do that?
Well, they might think they're accomplishing something, but I don't think they're going to get it done.
He was pumped up, wasn't he, before the race?
Man, he always is, though, man. Talking about Carl Edwards.
And working out with Burns probably helped his, strengthened his chances today. Burnsy.
Don't forget, before the Pikes Peak race yesterday, he was up in the mountains taking a 2-mile hike before he ever got started on that race out in Colorado. Full of energy.
Did you go with him?
I did. No way.
It's too high up to climb up there. Man, that high elevation gets me.
Kurt Busch, McMurray, Mark Martin, Tony Stewart, Ryan Newman up front on board with Edwards.
That's Robbie Gordon directly in front of him as he closes in. Man, he gets off that tunnel corner.
That's awfully fast through there.
Well, Kurt Busch had a good car last week and a lot of bad luck, but he's out front now. There's the pole sitter, Jamie McMurray, Matt Yoakum.
Took a big hit in the points last week in New Hampshire, hoping for a bigger change this week on the positive side. Now, he told me the car was tight on short runs. He was hoping by the end of a long run, though, the car would go the other way balance-wise, but it's already starting out on the tight side, running in second.
So Jamie McMurray gave up the lead early. Kurt Busch out front, 500 miles at Pocono. We're just underway, live on TNT. Wendy's race menu. We have Busch Series racing from St. Louis coming up on July 30th, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And 2 weeks from today, we'll be at the Brickyard for the Allstate 400. 2 o'clock Eastern Time over on NBC. Then it's on to the Glen, and then Michigan on August 21st right here on TNT. The Wendy's race menu, lots of racing coming up, and it's going to heat up in August. Kurt Busch coming out of 3. Lead lap 9. In fact, he's led all 9 laps so far today, coming from the outside of the front row.
Almost has a 3-second lead on McMurray, but it looks like McMurray might be closing in just a tick. No, didn't get anything that lap.
There's Mark Martin, and there's Tony Stewart. Through 1 and now down the Long Pond straightaway. And we'll head to turn 2.
Now let's see bumps you were talking about, Walter. Let's watch that 6 car go through there and see. You can tell just how bumpy it is.
Can't tell from that.
Nope, not bad at all.
Got to get a low angle, I think, or maybe an onboard.
But it's bumpy back there.
It's rough.
Here's what Mark Martin said about the tunnel turn here at Pocono.
Well, you can't miss it. As long as you're going to make a lap, you're going to have to hit it. It's all right. It's hard to believe that it's there again. I can believe that it could be there for the first race, but it's kind of surprising for the second race. It's not that big a deal. I mean, it's a bump. Whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo?
Whoop-de-doo. There you go.
Old school, Benny.
Yes, old school.
Now on board with Ricky Rudd as he heads for 2.
Off the throttle. Let's see the car.
Right there.
And he had to play with the throttle off that corner, not able to just wham, right back with the throttle. That takes time. That costs time around this racetrack.
And that will get worse as the tires wear more. That'll become more of a handful over there going through that bump in turn 2.
I thought Ricky had missed the corner up in 3, but I see now why. Kevin Harvick, 29, alongside of him, take the spot away.
Actually, Ricky's lost a couple of spots here in the last few laps.
How about the 29 car of Harvick, Dave?
Let's talk about driver concentration and how it can be broken by little things happening in the cockpit of that car. On lap 1, Kevin noticed that the radios were not working well. The crew was trying to fix the problem by communicating with each other. That was very distracting to Kevin, and he lost a position to Scott Wimmer. He's since gained that back.
That is very distracting when you're trying to concentrate on driving a race car and you hear all these people talking on the radio. It is.
Nemechek in that 01. Got around the 21. Fans, for a little extra excitement, take the Allstate Challenge now at NASCAR.com for your chance to win. Log on to NASCAR.com for more information about the Allstate Challenge. Kurt Busch continues to lead. McMurray, Martin, Stewart, and Newman the top 5. And you have to wonder, as good as the 97 car was last week, even with all of his problems, to come home and have a great second-place finish, how inspired that team and that driver would be coming in here today.
Oh, yes, because Kurt Busch, this has been one of his favorite racetracks. And Bobby Labonte also been one of his better racetracks.
Yep.
Did not have a particular good qualifying run, but now he's running back in the 18th position, started 23rd. Marty, what's he saying to the crew?
Well, BP, this is just what Bobby predicted. You saw the progression Bobby's made. He's picked up a few spots, and he told me before he got in the race car, trouble on the racetrack.
Mike Wallace around.
Easy.
Didn't hit anything.
And now the caution is out.
Worst position to be in when you got
You can, buddy. You're all clear.
driver's door pointing up the racetrack is the scariest thing for a race car driver.
And cars coming at you at 190 miles an hour.
Flat tire.
Flat tire, Mike says.
Left rear.
That's the first one.
Never hit anything.
Just don't tear apart, because if it tears apart, your day's over.
Losing a lap, what I want to know.
Yeah, you got to come in and change it, because if that tire comes apart, it's going to take the fender off.
Well, you saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
Pikes Peak.
That extra lap.
And see, the pace car is not too far behind
Listen to me. Now listen to me good. We got to get to pit road, and we got to get this tire changed.
There we see Mike up high. He knows he has a flat tire. He's trying to get the car slowed down, but very little control with a flat tire.
And the question is what caused the flat, right?
I would imagine he ran over something and punctured the tire.
I would think so, being the left rear.
You know, what he needs to do now is
See, look at, it's already tearing the fender off.
There, parts and pieces starting to shred. Caution car heads for pit road. P.J. Jones stayed out to lead a lap. Kurt Busch will bring them to the green. A couple of guys took 2 tires, among them Dale Jarrett and Jeff Gordon. Green flag at Pocono.
That put Jarrett in 4th spot, Jeff Gordon in 7th spot.
And Carl Edwards up to 10th.
Which is probably not a bad move, because this early in the race, you've got only 15 laps on your tires. It's probably, if you're going to do it, now's a good time to do that.
Mark Martin, the 6th car, trying to get by Jeremy Mayfield. Mayfield was in 2nd spot. This is a battle, and Mark goes up in the 2nd.
Martin to 2nd into the tunnel turn.
Oh,
boy, did you see that car bump?
Ryan Newman bouncing around in that 12 car in that bump you were talking about. Dave, what they do on the 19 car? 2 tires?
They sure did, BP. He came into the pits 19th, came out 3rd with a 2-tire stop. They made a track bar and a wedge adjustment. The car wanted to spin out in the corners. Matt?
Martin's future, whether he'll come back next year or not, is uncertain, but right now he's got a great race car trying to get his first win here at Pocono. The car just a tick loose on exit. They made an air pressure adjustment to try to fix that. They feel like they are going to have the best shot to get to victory lane. In fact, a number of people in the garage here this morning picked the 6 as the car to beat. Right now, he looks like it running in 2nd.
Jimmy Johnson back in 32nd. Allen.
Well, Jimmy Johnson came down pit road, Bill, just outside the top 10. They started to make a chassis adjustment on his car. When crew chief Chad Canal saw the other teams going for 2 tires, he figured they were going to give up a bunch of track position anyway, so he had Jimmy hold in the pit box for a second. They went ahead, took the time to make a second chassis adjustment. That's why Jimmy's way back there now. Marty?
Alan, it was an eventful caution period for Casey Kane. He had an extremely loose race car, so they made a ton of chassis adjustments on the 9 car. Then they figured out why the race car was loose. He came down and they found a flat right rear tire. Only 10 pounds of air left in the right rear tire for Casey Kane. So what they did, they came down pit road a second time and undid half the adjustments that they made on the first stop, trying to get that car a little bit better. You restarted 40th, still back in the pack.
Oh, man, trouble.
Those are teammates, aren't they?
41, Casey Mears into the side of the 40 car of Sterling Marlin. And you're right, yes, they are teammates.
Jeff Green in the 43.
He's not a teammate.
No,
though.
he's not. But he's on the move.
Yeah, Casey's going to have to just get out of that.
Do you want to make a point?
No, I was just talking earlier. Remember, we talked about Casey at the beginning of the race that it could be a right rear going down. If a car goes loose that fast, there's something wrong with more than just chassis.
Dave, how about Mears?
Well, his complaint on the first run was that the car was real rear-endy. He used another word, but the car in the back just wanted to spin out every time. Very, very loose race car in the 41. And, of course, that's what happened on his qualifying lap, too, on turn 3.
Travis Quapple.
77 brushes the wall off of turn 3.
Not the last guy to do that today. No. Elliott Sadler in the 38.
Trying to work his way towards the front.
Looking inside of Sterling Marlin. See Jeff Green has fallen back a little bit there.
Oh, Jeremy
19.
Mayfield, he's going downward.
2 tires.
I guess they just all got track position on him, and when he backed up, they all went by. Here comes Carl Everett trying to get by.
I don't think this will be too much of a challenge. Rusty Wallace right behind in the 2, then Brian Vickers. These guys are racing like it's 10 to go.
I'm telling you, Rusty Wallace, I thought was going to look inside the 99, but good horsepower in the Carl Edwards car. He pulled away from Rusty Wallace.
There's McMurray, the pole sitter, inside of Nemechek.
What's going on with the 19 car, guys?
Wow, Nemechek way up there.
Joe saving it up there in the marbles. Behind him, Jeremy Mayfield in the 19. He just said, guys, the car is way, way loose. It's that spin out thing we've been talking about. Very hard to control here at Pocono.
Here comes Carl.
Finally able to get by Jeremy Mayfield in the 19 car.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. runs 33rd on the racetrack right now. Back there with Kane. Kurt Busch up front. Mark Martin, Ryan Newman, Dale Jarrett, and Tony Stewart.
I just think if you've got a car that's really that loose, you better put 4 on it until you get the chassis
Especially
fixed.
early, right?
Yeah. I didn't realize. I mean, you know, track position is one thing, but you have to have a car that's working to get track position with 2 tires.
I thought that Chad Knaus made a good move in working on his car early.
You want to find out what you got early, then work on it all day, make it best for the closing laps. Kurt Busch up front, looking to get back to victory lane. He leads at Pocono on TNT.
Back at Pocono, Kevin Harvick, the first of the leaders to pit. He gives up the 8th position. A 4-tire change for Kevin. Car very, very loose. They made track bar and wedge adjustments. The 19 car of Jeremy Mayfield way, way back in the standings as a result of that 2-tire stop earlier. They will change 4 tires this time. You see them making a chassis adjustment as well on Jeremy's car and try to regain some of that valuable track position they lost on the last run. Bill?
Thank you, Dave. Well done down there. Joe Nemechek now on to pit road. The U.S. Army Chevrolet.
He gave up that 4th spot to come down, get him some tires, fuel, all the way down to Alan Besley.
And here comes Joe sliding into his pit stall. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment on this car. It'll be a 4-tire stop. Very smooth on the right side for the crew. They'll come around to the left, then send him on his way with a full load of fuel. Nemechek having a very strong run so far, Matt.
And you can see as they're blowing the brake dust out of the left front how much brake Dale Jarrett's using here at Pocono. Now they're making a slight air pressure adjustment. The car was loose in the first run. They tried track position and it paid off, Marty. He hung in the top 10.
Matt, Jeff Burton just said, man, I need some more grip. I'm too tight off the corners, too loose getting in. They do a track bar and air pressure adjustment, trying to get that 31 to have a little more grip for Jeff Burton.
This is probably the greatest pit lane we have.
Oh, it is.
As far as, you know, room goes, and the boxes are big.
How about Indy?
How about Indy? It's just the other way around.
Yeah, exactly right.
Pit lane at Indy is so narrow.
Yeah. About one of those lanes.
Jeff Gordon on the pit road with Ricky Rudd right behind him, Dave.
Not handling well off of any of the 3 corners. Their focus, the car wants to push toward the wall off of turn 3. They're going to make a wedge adjustment and air pressure for the 24 car. Gordon will take on 4 fresh tires. In front of him, also Casey Mears is on pit road, and they get caught by the caution, Bill.
Caution flag is out.
Gonna hurt a bunch of people.
And now you have to start wondering if somebody might run out on pit road. It is Ford debris. Carl Edwards is on pit road. 4 tires stop for Carl.
And he's a lap down. Jimmy Johnson will get caught by the caution flag. He's going to be a lap down.
The championship leader.
Man, tough break for these guys.
There's the debris that brought out the caution. Well, this will be very interesting how this unfolds. This is the 77 car of Travis Kvapil.
Left front tire just comes apart.
Yep.
That's the first one of the day.
Yep. And we saw this over 20 times in June. Left front tire issues.
He's got a lot of other issues too, other than a flat tire.
That rubber on that tire is just beating that sheet metal to death.
Debris off the 77 car trapped several strong cars on pit road, guys that had already pitted, trapped them a lap down.
I talked about it. They are, in fact, changing springs on the 8 car. It looks like they're going to get lapped, though. Here comes the pace car off the corner. He is going to be lapped. Oh, man. They thought they could do it here with...
Well, that's okay. He's got a couple guys he can get by for the lucky dog. He's in a better position now than all these other, because all these guys got to the tail end of the lead lap.
He's speeding down pit road. Let's see what they're going to say about that. He was speeding down pit road. He did beat the pace car, but it's a penalty into the longest line. He will remain in the lead lap if that's the case. They're going to hold him a lap for that. Okay. All right.
And he is currently...
Come back to pit road. You're going to hold us a lap.
That was good try.
Yeah, good try.
Let's go inside the pit window. I want to show you something. I want to show you a hustle on the front carrier, Danny Earnhardt of the 15 car. If you watch when they pull the right front, freeze right here. Okay, just watch this guy right here. Okay, when they pull the right front off, that tire gets away. Now he runs all the way over to get that wheel, catches it. He's running, he's catching it, gets it, pins it, makes sure he comes back, gets the other one, and gets it on the car on time.
Good hustle. And Michael Walter.
This is a great angle right here. He's still chasing it. He grabs the wheel just as the front tire changer pulls it off. That was a good job because he had to run a long way.
And you have to control those tires by NASCAR rules. You have to get them to the left-hand side next to the pit wall. How about the 8, Dave?
Well, unfortunately, plenty of time to finish their work now under the hood of that car because they will be held a lap here. They'll let the field go by. NASCAR will penalize them that lap for speeding down pit road. And what they're going to do also is they pulled a spring rubber out of the right rear. They put that in earlier. That was a change that Junior did not like, so they pulled that out as well during this stop. The official now waiting and holding him until he goes down that lap.
Wow, and Earnhardt already scored 2 laps down. Joe Nemechek is scored as the race leader.
Yeah.
But he's got a bunch of guys in front of him. Nemechek is about the 7th car in that line.
To be interesting, these guys have got to run hard.
Edwards, Gordon, Kenseth, Johnson, Jeff Burton, Casey Mears, tail into the lead lap.
Wow, what a mess. Nemechek may be the leader, Alan, but he is in a mess.
Yeah, he's kind of in the soup, isn't he, BP?
He is.
I know there's got to be some people at home saying, okay, wait a minute, the 01 pitted, but the 48 pitted and the 99 pitted. How's the 01 not a lap down when those other guys are? Nemechek was close enough to the leaders that he could make his pit stop and get back out on the track without going a lap down. Those other guys were far enough back from the leader. They didn't have that kind of time. Remember I talked about them needing some luck earlier, BP? They might have just made some of their own.
And Alan, they're rewarded for running well there.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. They're close enough to the front that it helped them out, making some of their own good luck.
And he might need some luck to get through this mess.
Needs some help from his teammate right there.
Scott Riggs in the 10.
At green cars, Kevin LePage. The leader goes by him. Puts LePage a lap down now.
35 cars were scored on the lead lap.
There comes Kurt Busch. Trying to weave his way through all those cars. There he is, a 97 on the inside of 41. Followed closely by Mark Martin and Ryan Newman.
Busch in second, Martin is third. Newman. Vickers is back there as well. These are fast cars chasing fast cars right here.
Yeah, and it's Nemechek's best interest to repass these guys because they are fast cars, and you want to get them a lap down. It's a competition.
Because if the caution comes out now, all those guys get a 2.5-mile reward. It would come around and be on.
And Nemechek's putting them down. It puts Ricky Rudd going down. Jeff Burton going down. Now it's about all those guys fighting for the lucky dog spot. Right. Matt, what's going on with the 21? Because I thought they'd be a little bit better than that right now.
They were great before the caution came out. They were one of those cars that had pitted before the caution. Now he was a lap down. Came back in to top off, but they told Ricky, the car you are racing to try to stay on the lead lap is a 01. Now he's trying to fight to hang on to the lucky dog position.
Yeah, he's got to stay in the 01's bumper right now.
Well, that's going to be 97's bumper pretty soon because we've seen the 97 car so far has appeared to be the class of skill. Although Nemechek has been fast.
And the one thing about Nemechek is that he is not running in clean air, whereas Kurt Busch has been in clean air most of the day. Ryan Newman in the 12. Back there behind the 31, there's the 12 and the 25 of Vickers.
A 25 car, Brian Vickers, finished second here to Carl Edwards just 6 weeks ago, so we knew that he would run well going into today's race.
And that 12-25 battle is for fourth. Ryan Newman saying hello to Jeff Burton in that 31 car, and they close up on Riggs in a hurry.
Here's where that inside line, though, I think is the strongest, but you've got Casey Mears. He's a lap down, right?
Yep.
He's in the middle of it, and we got 4 wide.
There we go. Rusty Wallace took advantage, goes on the inside of Vickers.
Oh, that was
takes
close,
the spot away.
Rusty
it's
had
not over.
Rusty, a 4-time winner here at Pocono. Vickers looking for his first ever Nextel Cup win.
That's the problem with Rusty now. You get down on the inside, and you got all the cars lined up on the outside. And believe me, the draft has a lot to do with getting down these straightaways.
Well, now he's going to try and draft off his teammate, Ryan Newman. Into turn 1. Burton on the outside. Looked like Newman might have gotten a little loose there.
5 car jumped up beside Newman.
Marty on Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, Bill, Rusty's car pretty good right now, but normally the first 2 runs today, it was not good in the early part of the run, but at the end of the run, Rusty was extremely fast. You see him trying to work under Vickers right there and trying to get his teammate Ryan Newman, but Rusty might let some cars go here, but he would catch them at the end of the run.
Hey, Marty, those guys were kind of subdued when we talked to them in the rig this morning, weren't they?
It was kind of strange, wasn't it? They were just like, you know, hey, we're here, we're having fun. We want a top 10 out of the day today, and that's all we really want. Battle for the lead up front.
Here comes Kurt Busch, that 97 car. He has position on the 0-1.
But Nemechek, still the leader.
Oh, he couldn't pull it off. Nemechek.
And Jimmy Johnson, the championship leader, fighting to stay on the lead lap.
Fighting to stay on the track. Yeah, like Kurt Busch. Man, he's getting through those corners.
There's the pass for the lead. Busch to the front.
And Busch by the 48 car. Now, Alan, what are they talking about in the 48 pits?
Well, ever since the pit stop happened and they got caught, Chad Canals has just been talking to his driver, doing the usual thing those crew chiefs do, BP, cheer them up, keep them in the game, and make sure they understand there's a lot of time to go in this race.
Matt, how about the leader?
Busch, just like he was in the run before, just out cruising. Now, his biggest issue is the tunnel turn as he works over the back of the 48, but this team really on a tear now, Bill. Back out front trying to get some of that clean air.
They would like that.
You know, we saw Jimmy Johnson, the 48 car, in Chicagoland. That was one of the most impressive runs that I've seen all year long. Remember, he was a lap down, made it up, came back from the end of the pack to finish in 3rd spot.
You know, they better crank more on that 48. That 48 looks terrible right now.
And remember, that's a backup car. Johnson lost a car here in practice on Friday. His crew chief, Chad Knaus, was up till 3:15 a.m. Saturday morning thinking about what changes to make the car.
Now, Ricky Rudd is the 21 car. He needs to get by the 48 to become the lucky dog, and that would ruin Johnson's chances of getting back on the lead lap.
That 48 is just looks like it's awful on the bumps. When he hits a bump in one and it goes through 2, the car just jumps sideways.
And you saw the points as they run now. Tony Stewart just 12 out of the championship lead. And running 7th on the racetrack. Kurt Busch made his way around Joe Nemechek. He has been a dominant car here at Pocono. You're watching NASCAR live on TNT. We are under caution here at the Pocono Raceway. 70 laps complete. Caution for debris. Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch's teammate, is the ballpark lucky dog. He gets the Lucky Dog award. He'll come around, be on the lead lap. A lot of guys got hurt, though. Harvick, Rudd, Johnson, Riggs, Wimmer, Mears, all trapped a lap down. The field heads to pit road. We head to Dave.
Michael Waltrip gives up 11th spot. 4-tire change for him. Wants to push toward the wall on the exit of the corner. Wedge and air pressure adjustment for Michael.
Matt, solid stop. The previous stop on lap 51 for Kurt Busch says, now you've got to fix the race car. No changes in the first stop. You've got to make a wedge adjustment to fix me up. He needs to be loose, Marty.
Rusty Wallace told the Miller Lite boys, hey, listen, I just need a smooth stop. I'm one adjustment away from having a car that can run up front, 1 pound out of the right rear, 1 pound in the right rear tire, just a little bit tight.
Trouble. Air pressure adjustment on the right rear for Joe Nemechek. Also a wedge adjustment, 4 tires, and out.
Boy, Rusty Wallace, they had a long time.
I don't think they had the jack up high enough.
They were still jacking the car up, trying to get the left rear tire off the ground. My guess is something like maybe the chain that pulls the left rear off the ground broke on the 2-car. And that will not fix itself. There'll be slow stops the rest of the day.
But Kurt Busch running well on the track, getting great pit stops on pit road. That helps him stay out front. Here are the guys getting the job done for the 97 team.
Jimmy Fennig, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Mark Full, Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Scott Ward, Clear Lake, California.
Scott Radel, Massillon, Ohio.
Jason Menger, San Antonio, Texas.
Kevin Gilman, St. Johnsbury, Vermont.
Doug Newell, Oxnard, California.
Jim Gaudet, North Conway, New Hampshire.
Wayne Deloria, Biddeford, Maine, now Hickory, North Carolina.
Right there in the inside lane, Ricky Rudd and Jimmy Johnson are going to be racing just as hard as anybody right now to be the first car 1 lap down.
So this could be fun to watch heading to turn 1, huh? Green flag is out. Here we go. Rudd right in behind Busch.
That was a good move. Put some cars in between him and Jimmy Johnson. Got a little track position right now, a little breathing room.
Boy, does he ever, as all those cars on the outside line going by the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson. Joe? Oh, there we are, 3 wide. 10 car in the middle.
Can't do that, can you?
No, when you're in the middle, you just have to get off the throttle and try to get back either low or high. Don't want to go through turn 2 in the middle because you won't be there long.
You can go in there in the middle, but you may not come out. McMurray in the 42, the pole sitter. Ron Riggs. Facing Kevin Harvick. Busch trying to pull away. Newman looking inside of Rudd, then falls back in line. You fall back to Jamie McMurray, Matt.
The pole sitter not having the day he had hoped for now when he pitted back on lap 71, Bill. They made a track bar adjustment running back in the 7th position. He says the car just way too tight, especially down in turn 1.
And as those guys have been struggling so much with finding the proper balance on this new Dodge Charger. They're always on one side. They're always either loose or tight. It's so difficult to be perfect.
And those are some of the guys that had difficulties testing at Indianapolis. They just couldn't get the car to do what they wanted to do.
As we watch this, Ryan Newman is doing the best job now. He's the 2nd place car, the first Dodge.
And Rusty Wallace has moved forward from 15th to 11th after losing those spots on pit road. There's the Blue Deuce. And Robbie Gordon, give him a call. Running 10th today.
Trying to go by Michael Walter for 9th, and he does. How about that, Robbie?
Marty.
Hey, Bill, Benny had talked to Benny and I talked.
Michael.
Yeah, hang on, Michael Waltrip. Good point, Wally. Benny, remember we talked about under caution that they were a little concerned that the left rear chain may be broken on the 2 car? Well, the team is not positive that's not the case. So they're worried about that for future pit stops because the left front guy said on that pit stop, I had plenty of room, and the left rear guy did not. So there may be a chain broken on the 2 car, and then make their stop slow all day long. They won't know it, though, until they come down for their next stop.
Now, what's up with Tony Stewart? He just can't get by the 31 car because all of a sudden he seems to be cars going by the 20. And we haven't seen that for a month, have we?
No, we sure haven't. Tony might have gotten out of the gas there because Jeff Burton wiggled just a little bit. Michael Waltrip gets out of line. He's going to try the inside of Burton. The chain holds up, helps out hold up the axle back there.
Well, it hooks to the frame on the top and to the trailing arm on the bottom, and when you jack the car up, it pulls the tire off the ground. Otherwise, it would extend until the shock is fully extended.
So when they come in next time, he's just going to have to keep pumping that jack until the left rear is off the ground. I'm not sure he got 2 full pumps on it that first time.
It could be that he didn't.
Something to watch for when Rusty pits next time. Michael Waltrip in the 15 running 12th. How about the 15, Dave?
They made just a slight adjustment for his car on the last stop. It wanted to push toward the wall, exiting the corners, and may have in fact done so on camera there just moments ago. They haven't said anything on the radio much since that incident, just 3 wide during it, which was part of the problem.
And that could have been the problem. Michael just got out of the throttle because he certainly seems like he is. He lost a spot to Biffle on that last lap.
Rusty Wallace has made his way up to 12th. Kurt Busch continues to lead. Then it's Ryan Newman, Mark Martin, Brian Vickers, and Joe Nemechek. We will go through the field with you when we come back to Pocono. Kurt Busch has just completed his 82nd lap. He has a 3.5-second lead over Ryan Newman. Then it's Mark Martin, Joe Nemechek, and Brian Vickers. Let's take you through the field here at Pocono. Starting with the 97, here's Yoko.
1 race to go, New Hampshire. Kurt Busch made a huge climb in the championship standings, up 5 spots to 5th, looking to eat into Jimmy Johnson's lead even more now. He was fighting in airtight condition when he's mired back in traffic. Now he's out front, Alan. A 3.5-second lead over Ryan Newman.
Well, this will be where we tip our cap to the pit crew for Ryan Newman. They brought him down pit road last time, running in 5th position. Got him out 2nd with a 4-tire stop, trying to help him some with the handling in traffic. Matt?
Alan, Mark Martin still a little on the loose side. No changes in the last stop. He just needs to have what we're starting to experience now. A long green flag run, Alan.
Not much to report on Joe Nemechek's pit stop last time, continuing to be very pleased with the car. I talked to crew chief Ryan Pemberton. He said, we're just riding, basically, everything's good. Ryan Vickers' crew has been working on his car since the start of the race to get the front end to grip better, to make it turn better in the corner. I just talked to the crew a second ago. They said it's gotten better every pit stop, and they're right now up to 5th place. Marty?
Alan, here in June, Kyle Busch started 38th and finished 4th, so starting 28th today should be no problem. Only complaint is he wants a little more straightaway speed. Last stop, they made no changes, trying different lines on the racetrack to see if there's one that might be faster than the previous lap. Matt?
Jamie McMurray just missed the chase last year. Feels like they still have a strong shot to make it in 2005. Runs in 7th. Now, this is one of his favorite race cars. They brought it here knowing they need some points. They finished 10th here in June, working on another top 10 run. Marty?
Bobby Labonte told me yesterday, you know what, I just want to finish this race. The last 2 Pocono races, been running in the top 15 with under 15 to go, and he was wrecked. So he wants to finish today very happy with the car. A 1/4 pound air pressure adjustment on the last stop, just a little bit tight. Robbie Gordon having a terrific run up to the 9th position after starting back in the field. He said he's having to wait on the back end of the car. It's just a little too loose, especially off of 3. He said, and that just kills my straightaway speed on that long front stretch. Matt?
Tony Stewart's been the hottest driver over the past 10 races, currently runs in the 10th position. Like much of this weekend, he's been battling a tight condition, especially when he tries to get in the gas, Marty, up off turn 3.
Rusty Wallace restarted 15th. He's up to the 11th position. He's a 4-time Pocono winner, so he knows his way to the front here. Didn't have much to say after that bad pit stop by the crew. Car just a little bit tight, 1/2 pound in the right rear tire on that last stop. Alan?
Well, Greg Biffle started the race in the 7th position. He fell back as far as 16th. Around lap 66, he got the crew jumping up onto the wall with some tires in hand because he scrubbed the wall. Shortly afterward, they had this conversation.
Greg, right now your biggest problem is too tight.
Yeah. Ever since I hit the wall, it quit turning.
Roger said he repaired it pretty good, and there was some damage, so that's probably your tightness, though.
Or, I'm not giving up, man. I'm going to let her eat.
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
They also pay him the big bucks because he drives the wheels off that race car and wins races. And Greg Biffle trying to pick his way back to the front, Dave.
Michael Waltrip's last top 5 was 6 races ago. Right here, Michael staying in the top 15 right now. Minor adjustments on that last stop. Alan?
Okay, so Carl Edwards started last, drove his way up about halfway through the field, made a green flag pit stop, got caught by the caution, was on the tail end of the field, 2.5 miles behind the leader, raced his way out ahead of them, caught a caution, came back around. Now he's got a pretty good race car. He's picking his way up through the field. He was 17th a minute ago. He's 14th now, Marty.
Alan, for much of this race, Casey Kane's been trying to recover from that flat right rear tire on the first run. At one point, he was back in 40th radio. He said it feels like the left rear is driving the car, which means it's just way too tight off the corners for Casey. They have been making slow and steady progress on the 9 car. Elliott Sadler trying to recover from his 100-point loss last weekend after the wreck in New Hampshire. Said the car just rolls too tight through the center of the corner, lacks side bite, but he said the last 2 adjustments have really helped. Dave?
The King's car, driven by Jeff Green, responds well to traffic. That according to the driver. That's why they like to race it here. It's done well so far. Started 26th, running 18th right now. Marty?
Dave, it's been a very solid day for Jason Leffler in the 11 car. A little bit tight. They had a half pound in both right side tires last time, trying to loosen up the 11 car. It's a car they borrowed from the 20 team. Last time it was on the racetrack, Tony Stewart finished 5th with it. Dave?
Bill Weber mentioned how hard Jeff Gordon had raced to get back on the lead lap. Now that they did that, they made some major adjustments because the car still wanted to spin out, coming off of turns number 2 and turns number 3. Matty?
Dale Jarrett entered Pocono 10th in the championship standings, 2 spots better than he was last year at this point. DJ running in 20th now. He was battling a tight race car. They adjusted with air pressure on the last stop back on lap 71. Just mired back in traffic. Dave?
Matt Kent said it was a lucky dog on the last stop. They put a spring rubber in the right rear because that car actually was in the left rear because the car was so loose. Matt said I could hardly hang on to it. Alan?
And an update on the championship leader, Jimmy Johnson, who finds himself back in 30th place. Last pit stop, crew chief Chad Knaus decided not to make any time-consuming adjustments. Adjustments that were going to require the wrenches to be put into the car because they had a chance to get off pit road first and position themselves for that lucky dog spot. Unfortunately, Ricky Rudd got out ahead of them and has pulled away from them. Chad says we need to work on this race car, but we've still got time.
Thanks, guys. We took you 21 deep. Ken Schrader is 22nd, followed by Sterling Marlin, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Mike Bliss, Dave Blaney, Mike Wallace, and Kyle Petty is the last car on the lead lap. They are all chasing Kurt Busch. 88 laps complete here at Pocono, approaching the halfway mark. Can Busch get back to victory lane? We'll keep watching on TNT. To green on a beautiful day in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Kurt Busch continues to lead. Enter the Nextel Race to the Chase sweepstakes fueled by Sunoco. You could win $250,000 and a tanker of Sunoco fuel. Race to Sunoco or Nextel for details.
And that's right, folks. He said tanker, not a tank. A lot of gasoline. And 250 grand.
Yep, this guy's just about out of gasoline. We could be approaching green flag pit stops here. 105 laps complete. Kurt Busch continues to lead by 9.5 seconds.
And I tell you, this is one place you definitely do not want to run out of gasoline. You come off this turn 3, if you run out of gas about right there and unable to get to pit road, you'll never make it back. You can't coast that far.
Want to be careful about speeding, too, right now. Especially if these guys all pit under green.
And remember what happened last time they started pitting under green. The caution came out.
Because several of those cars 1 lap down.
Yep.
Among those, Jimmy Johnson, who still is back in 30th position 1 lap down.
Ryan Newman runs 2nd. There's Michael Waltrip. He's made his way to 8th.
He passed Tony Stewart.
Yep.
Now, you know he's fast when he passes Tony Stewart.
And right behind those two, Carl Edwards is on the move, too. He got around Rusty Wallace.
And Kyle Busch. Carl told me, the 99 driver told me Friday that he felt like the car was extremely fast. The only thing he was concerned about starting in the rear, and that obviously because of going to Colorado running the Busch race yesterday, he had to start at the rear of the field today.
And that wasn't a pleasant experience.
No, that was a long trip for nothing.
Got him some points, got out of Dodge.
Very few points, not enough points.
That's right. Waltrip looking back at Tony Stewart. He's won 3 of the last 4. Tony has. And Joe Nemechek, the first of the leaders to hit pit road. He gives up 5th place to head for Alan Bestwick.
Yeah, kind of interesting that one of the leaders would be the first one to make the move to pit road, but I think you're going to see an awful lot of guys heading in here fairly soon. Joe reported he was starting to slide the front tires a little bit, so they're going to make an adjustment to try and help him with that. It'll be a 4-tire change for Joe Nemechek.
A lot of conversation in the 20 pit about what adjustments to make for Tony Stewart as they're all around to the left side of the car. Air pressure adjustment to try to free up the race car, get more grip in the front so it turns. He can get back in the gas quicker. He's away.
Marty?
Well, Casey Kane brings his number 9 car down pit road, Bill, and the car has just been extremely tight. He wanted a fresh water bottle, wants a tear off the windshield, and 2 rounds up on the track bar. Also, a wedge adjustment for the 9 car, extremely tight. And again, they're still trying to recover from that flat right rear earlier, and the adjustments they made off of that, Matt.
Mark Martin giving up third, hitting pit road. Says the car starts off loose, but then tightens up exactly where he likes it. He says, I like what we did last time. Let's not make any adjustments on this stop. Around to the left side of the car for Martin, and he is away. Meanwhile, the 42, Jimmy McMurray in, have been running just inside the top 10. He says, I like what we did last time, so give it to me again. The last time they gave him a track bar adjustment and air pressure. The 97 of Busch, his team up on the wall, waiting for him to hit his pit box. Alan?
And Greg Biffle has slid into his pit stall. Biffle going to give up a spot just outside of the elite cars. They're going to make a 4-tire change. Also go for an adjustment. That looked like it was on the wedge bolt, and try and send him back out. They've been trying to help this car turn a little better, Matt.
Now Kurt Busch had to go around the 88 of Dale Jarrett, close going over the line as pit stall, but he gets a thumbs up by the NASCAR official. Chassis adjustment. They want to make a slight adjustment for this stop, so that way they are better for their final stop. Oh, a lug comes off the left front. They had to pick it up and put it on. Loses a little bit of time here. Wardy on pit road. Allen.
And Brian Vickers has brought his car onto pit road. Going to make an air pressure adjustment to help that. 4-tire change for Brian Vickers, who's run very solidly in the top 10 the entire race.
50 car Michael Waltrip leaves pit road. His car was a little loose. They made a track bar adjustment. Jeff Gordon is on pit road as well. His car was also loose. They will make air pressure adjustments for Jeff. Give him a 4-tire stop. 99 car of Carl Edwards on pit lane as well at this time. Carl Edwards making another pit stop and getting him back and off on pit road.
Rusty Wallace will follow him out. Jeff Gordon off of pit road. Alan, how about Ryan Newman?
Yeah, here he comes, Bill. They have fought the front end of this car the back end of this car for the last segment of the race. Ryan experiencing a loose condition, the back end wanting to spin around on him when he turns the wheel to the left. They're going to make a track bar adjustment here and a 4-tire change to try and help out the second place car. And Jimmy Johnson on pit road. Oh boy, what a day they've had so far. Got trapped by that caution flag that came out just after they made a green flag pit stop. Took a chance not making any adjustments. Last pit stop to see if they could get the lucky dog. Now they're in for a 4-tire change and trying to help the handling of that car. They haven't given up, but they got a hole to dig out of.
And Ryan Newman was able to stay out and run an extra lap and lead this race. Got credit and 5 bonus points.
And Matt Kenseth trying to do the same thing. In the middle of green flag stops here. There's the 12 of Newman. There's Kenseth.
He's going to head towards pit road.
So Matt brings his car to Robbie Reiser and company, Dave.
All day long, Matt Kenseth has been fighting that race car that wants to spin out. You see the wrench going in the rear window. They will make a chassis adjustment for Matt and send him back on his way. The crew now going to the left side, trying to get him off within 14 or 15 seconds. And it's a pretty good stop for Kenseth.
So Matt heads back out on the racetrack. It cycles around, and Kurt Busch recaptures the lead. He has led 100 of the 111 laps completed so far today, scheduled 200 here at Pocono. He has a good race car, slid through his pit stop last week, or his pit stall rather, almost did it again, then had a lug nut issue, but that car continues to lead. Whoa! Still on the green here at Pocono. Kurt Busch continues to lead. Ricky Rudd, the first car lap down, charging.
He's going to get him. Going to get him.
And earn his way back onto the lead lap.
Yellow's out. Yellow's out.
Going to get it anyway.
Because Ricky Rudd will be the lucky dog.
Yes, he will. And man, did he earn it. Caution for debris.
They're going to see him in a while. It may be 25 or 30 laps, but they're going to see him up front.
Rick Monroe, I didn't realize he was a flagman. Good job, Rick.
Working with Rodney Wise this season. We'll come back for pit stops here at Pocono. Under caution with 119 in the books. Kurt Busch continues to lead. Back for the pit stops in a moment.
Pit stops underway at Pocono. Michael Waltrip skidded over his line. They had to push him back to get his pit stop. Matt.
Trouble on the left rear of Kurt Busch. He lost time. Could not get the lug to tighten. Track bar adjustment. Marty.
Matt, quick stop for Rusty Wallace. 2 tires, no changes, and he's already gone. Alan?
Oh, big problems on Joe Nemechek's stop. The car fell off the jack on the left side. It's going to cost him some ground, and probably a lot of it. Did anybody have a good stop?
No, it doesn't look well. Looks like maybe Rusty Wallace changing right sides. Greg Biffle looks like they changed 2 tires, trying to get some track position.
That's curious, taken 2. Marty?
Hey, and Bill, real quick, why Rusty Wallace changed 2 tires? The car was handling perfectly, but the left rear chain, which pulls up that left rear tire, is indeed broken. So if they would have changed 4 tires, it would have been a long stop. Rusty said, just 2 is fine with me.
So the question is, the time they gained on pit road, will they lose it on the racetrack? We'll sort out how they came off of pit road, reset the field, go back to green flag racing. At Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, 122 laps complete. Greg Biffle is the race leader, came in 11th, went out first, a 2-tire stop. 2 tires for Rusty Wallace. He came out second after coming in 10th. And Kyle Busch came in 12th. He went out third. BP.
The 97 Kurt Busch makes the pit stop. Right sides, okay. They come around the left. The jack goes up. Everything is fine. But the rear guys just having all kind of trouble. Looks like lug nuts have fallen off the left rear, and the tire changer is so upset.
Here's Michael Waltrip.
And he just came in. He just overshot his bit. He locked him up, slid forward. The official says, guys, got to go back. He actually puts it in first, then gets it back. Now, they were going to change 4, but because of all this, they decided just to take 2.
So they go to work on that car. And late word from pit road is that the plan was now for this car just to take 2 tires the whole time. They had discussed 4 and ended up taking 2. And basically they forced their hand. Here's Nemechek.
We showed you a pit stop last week of the 48 car on the left side. Right side's good stop on Nemechek. They come around the left side. Jackman, everything looks okay. The jack goes up. Watch the front tire. Stop it. You see this tire roll out and hit the jack and release the handle, down goes the car. We showed you last week that the jackman had the handle turned to the right. The tire hit it, but it didn't release the jack as this one did.
Because he blocks it. Some guys want to block that.
Some guys actually use their leg to block the tire.
Matt.
BP, you were correct. There were issues on the left rear of the 97 stop, but if you play the video back again, you'll see changer Kevin Gilman waving frantically back to Jackman Scott Radel to hit it one more time. One more pump to raise the car up. That's what he did, and then they were able to get that wheel on and hit those lugs.
Under caution here at Pocono, Greg Biffle is the race leader. Biffle, Wallace, Kurt Busch, Mark Martin, and Brian Vickers. Biffle, Wallace, and Busch with 2 tires, Martin with 4.
Wow.
The fight for the lucky dog.
That's right. Sterling Marlin said, I want to be that dog. Let me buy that 49 car.
Watch it, Mark.
Martin high in the 6.
Cool shot.
And now heading for the rugged tunnel turn here at Pocono. Earnhardt Jr. is 36th. 2 laps down.
Uh-oh, that's trouble. Wise with the 41 car. Casey Mears backed off the throttle, let Michael Walker go on the outside. Keep him from being 3 wide.
Earnhardt still 3 laps down.
Tony Stewart inside of Ryan Newman. Chasing Kurt Busch.
Are you going to try to squeeze on the outside? I don't think he's got enough there.
Man, oh man, there's no wonder these guys changed 2 tires. That is a mess.
You don't want to be back there.
Yeah, they changed 4 tires and they're in a genuine mess. Big time.
Wow, look at that. Guys are really bouncing through there.
They've done a good job today, though.
Yeah. We're very impressed that we haven't seen more trouble than we saw more trouble in practice on Friday than we did racing today.
I can tell you that Jeff Burton spent a number of laps on pit road. He is now 12 laps down. Scored in 39th.
Tony Stewart goes by. Elliott Sadler takes over spot.
Sadler took just 2 tires on that last stop.
There's Kurt Busch. The 97 car just went out of the picture. See Rusty Wallace's 2 car trying to get by Biffle.
Both those guys took 2 tires, Alan.
Yeah, I just talked with his crew chief, Doug Richard, Greg Biffle's crew chief, Bill. I said, what's your thinking? He said, well, first, 5 bonus points in the championship. Yep, got that done. Second thinking was, he said, we're struggling. We're just trying to survive. Let's get a little track position, see what happens. Didn't have a whole lot of laps on those left side tires before that next caution, that last caution came out. Buddy.
Alan, under the caution, Rusty Wallace told his guys, you guys better figure out how we're going to change 4 tires under the next caution because, you know, Rusty's not a big fan of taking 2 tires. He'll probably let Biffle be up front here for a while. His car very good on the long run. So as this plays out, this may play into Rusty's hand as long as these 2 tires hold on. And he said, you know what, I may lose some positions here, but we'll be better off than we would have if we'd have changed 4. Matt?
Mark Martin just jumps up into 3rd. Now, fuel mileage could be the story of the day if we go green to the finish. Now, Pat Tryson told Mark, run hard, run hard. We are good to go on 1 more stop. Meanwhile, the 97 of Busch, who's dominated the race, Marty, they are 4 to 6 laps shy of making that 1 more stop.
Just talked to Alan Gustafson, the crew chief for Kyle Busch. He said, we had a great car. It's so hard to pass here. That's why we decided to take 2 tires. We won't stay up here for as long as we could, but I just want to take this to get a little position right now. Caution on the racetrack.
Caution is out for debris. Caution for debris. Kevin Harvick will be the lucky dog. And I'm telling you, who wants 5 bonus points is Rusty Wallace.
To get that right now.
Yes.
And not wait for a caution.
Ball's in behind Wallace.
Wow, look at Mark Martin up on the high side.
Did you see that run that Mark Martin got on the high side off turn 1? Wow. Tell you what, these guys Mark Martin might be hard to handle when it comes to winning this race this afternoon because Kurt Busch has to go by several cars to get to Mark Martin.
Across the tunnel turn. Again, Biffle and Wallace on 2 tires. Mark has 4. Johnson is a lap down. And currently, Greg Biffle is the championship leader as they run right now. Johnson back to 2nd to Matt.
Bill, Jimmy Finnick even says with those caution laps, they are still short on making it on 1 more stop for fuel.
Man.
What did Biffle say on the radio? Let her eat.
He said, I want let her eat. And he is now. This is the best the car is going to be. He has clean air.
You want to talk about 2 tires or 4?
Well, it's hard to decide what's best. I mean, I think 4 is going to obviously better. These guys are back in traffic, and the guys that took 2, are up in clean air. But let's just see what happens when this shakes out.
Tony in the 20 pushing the 97 of Kurt Busch.
Kurt Busch clears these guys and gets in some clean air himself.
Oh, here we go. Tony Stewart gets a terrific run off the tunnel corner. Got Kurt 3 wide. Kurt backs up.
Busch got trapped behind the 41 of Mears.
Yeah, he had to jump out of the throttle, and that's why Tony Stewart had such a good run.
A great move by Tony Stewart.
I think he's going to be able to hang on to it for very long.
And Vickers on the 25 car. He's got to run on Kurt Busch. Man, all of a sudden, it looks like Superman is not invincible.
Busch has had an outstanding car, Kurt Busch has today. Here's Mark Martin under Rusty Wallace for 2nd. Rusty, a 4-time winner here. Mark has never won at Pocono in what may or may not be his final season in that car.
But as we told you earlier, Mark Martin, the 6 car, has finished second 6 times. As a matter of fact, Jack Rouse, the owner of the 6 car, the 16, 99, 97, also the 17, had never won at Pocono until June when Carl Edwards pulled off the victory.
But winning here at Pocono would mean a lot to Mark. He's, as Benny said, 6 second-place finishes, but never the big one.
We run really good here, but we've never dominated this race. On the other hand, at Martinsville, I run bad there a lot and have won twice. So that should sum it up. I mean, we come here and run good all the time, but never have had, you know, the kind of break that would put us in victory lane. At Martinsville, we've won twice with a mediocre car. So that's just how racing is. I mean, it plays out that way. And, you know, if I had 20 more years in me, I'd probably get a win here.
He might only need about 64 more laps to get a win here. He's coming, chasing down Biffle.
Sarah Polster to the 42 car. Jamie McMurray is back in the, what, 9th position?
Yep, Newman is 8.
Wow.
Now
Vinci back here.
Yeah, you take 4, that's where you are.
That's why you didn't want to make a pit stop or change 4 tires. You did not want to be back in there with Carl Edwards at 99 and Ricky Rudd 21.
But I'll tell you, Michael Waltrip is on the move because he was one of the 3 lead lap cars that stopped under that most recent caution, and now he's moved up to 17th, and he's doing it in traffic. Behind Robbie Gordon.
Oh, hand signal there. I don't think it was a nice one.
Are there nice ones?
Yeah, there's a couple nice ones, but
Kurt Busch easily under Brian Vickers.
We saw Vickers pass him on the front stretch just a moment ago. We saw Tony Stewart get by 97.
I really think Kurt just got bottled up there coming off of 2 and lost his momentum in 3, and he's just gathering it back up.
You have to get your rhythm back, right?
Yeah.
And it's not something you do in an instant.
No, he's got it back.
So Kurt Busch trying to march his way back to the front, chasing a couple of teammates, Greg Biffle and Mark Martin up front at Pocono. We're under caution here at Pocono. Contact between the 42 of Jamie McMurray and the 12 of Ryan Newman. We will show you that. Mark Martin has gotten around Greg Biffle and has scored as the race leader. Now let's go back and show you what happened.
If you watch the 12 car, he cuts a right front tire. He gets out of the gas. He's just trying to save the car. McMurray just closed on him real fast. Tried to miss him, but got in the back of him.
He knocked a huge hole in the right front fender on the 42 car, and we see the right front tire flat on Newman's car.
So McMurray is on pit road now, and Newman is moving down pit road. Here's the pass for the lead.
Now this is going off about exactly the same time as that incident back in turn 3 between the 42 and 12.
And you have to wonder about if that's a teammate pass there. Greg Biffle allowing Mark Martin by to get the 5 bonus points.
Is that the first time he's left that Mark?
Martin will bring them back to the green flag. Mark Martin, Kurt Busch, Joe Nemechek, Michael Waltrip, Casey Kane, and Mike Bliss. The top 6 did not stop under this caution. Tony Stewart is 7th. He took 2 tires. He's followed by Brian Vickers, Ricky Rudd, Greg Biffle, Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Rusty Wallace in 13. Carl Edwards is 14th. He took 2. And Kevin Harvick as the green comes out of Pocono. Your boy Rudd, fuel only. Mr. Donovan.
Take the bell. So Mark wins the race down into turn 1. But here comes the 97 car, Kurt Busch. He gets by these lap cars of Casey Mears and Matt Kempton.
Nemechek's right there. 3rd spot.
He also clears the lap cars.
Very important.
Saw some smoke back in the back. Must have been some contact with someone.
Imagine that. There might be some more.
Hard to imagine not any contact back in the back.
You got somebody way off the pace up there in turn 2, so that may have been more than just contact.
Tony Stewart on the inside of Mike Bliss.
Oh, Stewart gets a little bit loose right down in there. has to get out of the gas. He's going to lose 3 or 4 spots.
Robbie Gordon is the car that's off the pace. Earnhardt Jr. runs 36, 2 laps down. That's Robbie Gordon in the 7, heading for pit road.
Hopefully that wasn't engine smoke we saw back there.
Yeah, because if there's a bunch of oil back there, it's going to get real exciting.
Marty?
It's an engine on Robbie Gordon's car. Man, they had a terrific run going today, up in the top 10 for most of the afternoon. He said it went. That's all he had to say to the team. And they said, nice job driving today, guy.
Takes it to the garage.
Boy, this is close stuff right here. You looking at Labonte there? Very close.
Scott Wimmer, 22. Jeff Gordon.
Intense. Gordon in the 24. Briggs in the 10.
Rusty Wallace, the blue car on the inside, trying to work his way back to the front. Currently shown in 13th. That time by.
And these guys racing like this where they're at, about 2 seconds slower than what the leader is right now in clean air.
Casey Kane's dismal day continues, Marty.
Yeah, he's on pit road, Bill, and he thought it was a flat right front or right rear tire. But when they came to pit road, Tommy Baldwin said, nope, it's a left rear tire. It was going to be 2 tires, but a 4-tire stop for the 9, who had just gotten themselves in position to make a run for a top 10 today.
Dale Jarrett charging up the inside.
Jeff Gordon there trying to take a spot from Mike Bliss in the 0 car.
Gordon up to 8th now.
It's a good run by Bliss today in that 0.
Yep. Use some pit strategy to get there right now. Didn't stop under the caution. How about the 0, Dave?
About 3 stops ago, they got the car right for Mike Bliss, and since then it's just been very minor adjustments. So working on the car all day, finally got to where the driver thinks he can race it.
And the 24
stayed out last time, by the way, Bill. Sorry.
Thanks. That's okay. The 24 and the 0 obviously had some problems at Chicagoland. With the pass clean there. Bliss turning the 24 into the wall.
Harvick's going to take the spot away from Carl Edwards.
Well, you think?
He's going to try anyway.
Try.
And here comes Rudd. Bobby Labonte.
How many times have we said that today? Here comes Rudd.
Seems like a lot of these cars, boy, once they get back in traffic, Benny, they're just
another car.
Well, yeah, exactly. If they can get in clean air, they're fast. But
and Harvick's another guy that's been stout since he got back on the lead lap. On board with Ricky Rudd, chasing Bobby Labonte.
Meanwhile, Edwards and Harvick still battling over that position.
I think the battle is going to be over here in a minute.
Edwards would not back up and let Harvick have the preferred line. Gets a great run off the tunnel corner. Even Bobby Labonte, here he comes on the outside. He goes by Harvick.
Edwards has got a good car. Yes, he can do that in turn 2.
A really good race car.
Edwards 9th, Labonte 10th, Harvick 11th, Carl Edwards, Allen.
Well, Bill, after all they've been through today, just before that last yellow flag, crew chief Bob Osborne was radioing Carl Edwards that he was running times faster than the leaders, faster than anyone on the racetrack. Just 2 tires on that pit stop. They're looking to set themselves up to make the finish on just 1 more stop. They're really, believe it or not, guys, they're still trying to pull the reins in on himself.
Kevin Harvick has been battling a loose race car all day. In fact, said it's the best it's been before the last stop. They took on 2 right side tires, though, hoping not to mess up the handling on that 29 car.
Matt, how about Ricky Rudd?
What a rebound. Got caught by that early caution, lost a lap, and then fought his way back on the lead lap. Now Ricky says the car, although he's in 13th, is pushing really bad. It just will not stick. There's nothing he can do. So Fatback, McSwain, and the Wood brothers are going to have to work on an adjustment on their final stop, and then they can go the distance to see if they can put this car back into victory lane.
Rusty Wallace by Rudd for position.
Here comes Greg Biffle on the 16. He's on the inside trying to take a spot away. Meanwhile, here comes Newman in that 12 car back. Oh, trouble contact between the 2 and 16.
And Rudd's going to try and take advantage of it.
Now Ricky may lose another spot or two here because he had to get way out of the throttle. He's going to lose 2 spots.
And what I thought that the 16-2 had made contact hard enough to lose control, but Rusty and Biffle able to get her under control.
Guys are running so close, if you get out of the throttles just for a second, you lose all your momentum in 2 or 3 positions.
Rudd is 17th. That's Elliott Sadler to the inside in the M&M's machine. 4th position. Oh, Kyle Busch. Around and into the wall hard.
Oh, Rudd just barely looked like squeezed by the 5.
Okay, clear. Come on.
He shortened that thing up or what?
He was in the 11th position.
Say we were smoking coming up with throttle car.
So they were smoking.
Garage, guys, garage.
Caution out.
No brakes.
On lap 150.
No brakes.
No bumper either now.
I was going to say, no trunk.
About to lose the deck lid, too.
Yeah.
You know, brakes have, since they've stopped shifting here, brakes have been a problem for these cars.
Sure, you know, when you were downshifting going into turn 1, that would help you slow the car down. Now you're just completely slowing the car down with the brakes, so yeah, it's a lot harder on brakes.
Marty?
And you talk about him having no brakes. He was saying he had no brakes when he went into the corner, and he was just trying to save himself from wrecking us even harder than he did. So that was the problem. He had no brakes when he went in the corner.
Let's get on board with Rusty and see what he saw.
There he goes. Almost ran in the back of
Good job, caution.
Mayfield?
Yep, Jeremy Mayfield, a 19 car.
And you know, the 24 car, another Hendrick car, had issues last week at the brakes. That turned out to be a master cylinder issue.
See how it works out. We've got about 100 miles to go. A little over 100 miles.
Do you think it tops out about 41 laps on fuel, right, PP?
Well, Jimmy Johnson, if this thing, we'd have a couple more cars to play. Some of these guys, like Jimmy Johnson, they might gamble on making it the rest of the way, running 47, 48 laps. But it would be a huge gamble.
Casey Mears was the lucky dog. He's the 25th car on the lead lap. Here's the Hamilton.
See the 2 Roush cars leading, Martin, Kurt Busch. The 17 car, Matt Kenseth, is the first car 1 lap down.
Some of those guys going, oh, I'm getting out of here.
Once you get back in the back, it's going to become just a real melee.
Jimmy Johnson gained 2 positions on that lap to 19.
10 car, Scott Riggs is 1 lap down.
So Gordon on the inside of Sterling Marlin there. Gordon in the 7th position. Chasing Tony Stewart. A car of Earnhardt Jr., 34th, 2 laps down.
Using this as a test.
Yes, that's right.
A chassis test today.
since they changed those front springs, the 8 car has been pretty racy. Oh, Carl Edwards goes to the corner, and up the hill he goes, and Sterling Marlin on the inside of him.
We'll watch this. Check in with Marty.
Kyle Busch is back in the garage. You had an outstanding race car, and just all of a sudden no brakes or what?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I felt something coming out of turn 2, the tunnel turn over there, and there was a puff of smoke out from under it. I'm not sure what that was, but it ended up blowing a right front wheel bearing out and going off into turn 1. You know, the rotor's not straight, so it's trying to wobble out the right front pad. And there was just no brakes. I mean, pedal went straight to the floor, and I tried pumping it a couple times, but there wasn't anything there, so I just tried to back it in as best I could to save myself from getting hurt and, you know, save a whole race car instead of just a half of one.
All right, see you in Indy.
All right.
Check this out. Michael Waltrip trying to get by Nemechek for the 3rd position.
A couple of Chevrolets there. Dave?
And Michael absolutely thinks he can win this race. On the last pit stop, they decided to stay out. Michael said, I'm just 1 tick too tight, but they certainly don't want to make any changes right now. They will need about 6 or 7 more laps of yellow to make it on fuel. If they can get that, they can go.
Nemechek's going to fight back.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Crossover.
Here comes Michael on the outside.
Whoa, Nemechek a little bit sideways there.
Alan, what's Nemechek going to do here at the end?
He's going to be pitting in just a little while, BP. I want you to look for somewhere around 35 laps to go. Ryan Pemberton, his crew chief, leaving Nemechek out on that last caution. Remember that they had the problem where the car fell off the jack, the tire bumped the jack handle, lost all their track position. They're looking to make this kind of like a road course pit strategy. Pit when you can, stay out the rest of the time, and try and get to victory lane.
Yeah, as soon as Mark Martin and those other guys get within their window, they will certainly be making a pit stop and hope the caution flag does come out. Matt, how about Mark's strategy?
Mark's out front trying to score his first Pocono win. Now, a lot of conversation, BP, before the restart. First, Pat Tryson told their spotter, let's give it the 17, ask for consideration on the restart. Secondly, there was a lot of conversation about strategy on the team radio.
Something around 160. Around 160, it looks like there might be caution. I need to know because I need to hit pit road. Well, sure, at 160, I need to go further than that, but it looks like it's coming out. I need to come in and hope I get enough caution laps.
Closing in on that lap 160 mark. Now they are getting great fuel mileage, better fuel mileage than their teammates, the 97, but both cars can go on one more stop, running 1-2. It took Jack Roush, the owner, a decade and a half to get his first Pocono win. He may sweep Pocono in 2005.
Comes Carl Edwards trying to get by Gordon.
And Rusty Wallace coming back. That's for 8.
Oh, man, that bump in the tunnel corner is tough spot. Rusty goes by Carl.
Wait, Gordon's going to lose a few spots right here. Bobby Labonte goes by.
I think you got to start thinking about fuel in that 6 car, too. It's been a long time since he's been to pit road. So Wallace up to 7th, Edwards 8th, Bobby Labonte 9th, Jeff Gordon back to 10th, Mark Martin out front at Pocono. Best come out for Joe Nemechek. Caution on the track at Pocono. Joe Nemechek with a flat left front tire. Working lap 163. And this changes everything.
Talked about it earlier. These guys have run so good all year long, but they just can't capitalize on it.
And this happened going down the backstretch, so a lot of damage has been done to the car as he tries to get it to pit road.
Matt Kenseth will be the lucky dog. Mark Martin is the race leader. Everyone should be inside their fuel window now. And this car was very close to coming to pit road under the green. Alan?
Joe Nemechek's going to have some problems here, Bill. They damaged the left front fender, and where the hood meets that left front fender on the car, you might be able to see it through the crew guys working furiously around it there. When it first happened, Joe didn't really know what happened. He said, I've got a flat. Then he said it broke. And then the spotter said left front flat. That's what they're hoping. And now they're hoping that they've got fuel to the finish. Problem is whether or not the pit road was closed when they came in. They've got to check that with NASCAR, whether or not they go to the back of the line or not. Did that make sense?
Yes. They have problems, and they may have more, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
If he can stay out, if pit road was open, and he feels like he can stay out, his car is okay, he'll be leading the race.
That's exactly right.
But now Mark Martin was not able to pit that time. Wouldn't it be something if he ran out of gas trying to get back? Because he is very close to being out of fuel.
Pit road was closed when Joe Nemechek came down pit road.
So he will have to start at the end of the longest line.
And this team, the 6, was looking at around 163 or 164 to pit. We are on 163 now. Of course, the caution laps help your fuel mileage. But this is a huge benefit
49.75, second gear.
for the guys that had stayed out.
Heard him talking about his pit road speed. They have to use the tachometer to adjust their speed down pit road because only 55 miles per hour.
And he's looking at that fuel gauge right now, that fuel pressure gauge, hoping that it stays up. Because if you run these cars out of gas, you're going to lose a lot because it takes so long to get them restarted.
Jeff Burton ran out of gas early in the 31 car and took him about 8 or 10 laps to get it refired.
It's Mark Martin, Kurt Busch, Michael Waltrip, Tony Stewart, then Rusty Wallace. Brian Vickers is 6th, followed by Carl Edwards, Bobby Labonte, Jeff Gordon, and Greg Biffle. Jimmy Johnson is 15th.
Now he will not pit.
Here we go, 49.75, second gear, bud, to the line, at the line, 49.75.
They work all week for this. The race could be determined right here. Track position has meant so much. Dave Burns.
Michael Waltrip said, I'm a very little bit tight. They're going to make just a slight air pressure adjustment. 4 tires for Michael to take him till the end. Remember, he started at the back of the field today. Matt?
The pressure's on for Mark Martin's team. Jack Roush said we just need a good, solid stop. No changes. They do not have to wait for the fuel. That's how good they are on fuel. Marty, he's down and away.
Larry Carter asked Rusty Wallace, you sure you only want to take 2 tires? Rusty said, oh yeah, way too hard to pass out here. A ½ pound in the right rear tire. A little bit tight, Alan.
Going to be a 4-tire stop for Brian Vickers. Farther behind him on pit road, Jimmy Johnson, 2 tires only to get some more track position. Wow, look at that land rush.
Oh my goodness gracious alive. And Mark Martin is going to come out about 5th spot. Rusty Wallace, big winner.
Mark Martin might be lucky to be 5th.
I'll tell you what, he almost got run into by Mike Garvey in the 66, which I don't know why he was pitting then anyway.
Back to green.
Both would have felt really bad about that.
Rusty Wallace and Carl Edwards, the top 2 cars with 2 tire stops. Kevin Harvick was fuel only.
Okay, all these guys now, it's no more Mr. Nice Guy. You run as hard as you can and try to get every position you can because there will not be any more pit stops unless you have a flat tire.
Yeah, and you have to hurry because you don't want to be racing side by side. You want to get out, get in some clean air, or you're going to lose a lot of track position.
Here comes Mark.
Jeremy Mayfield, the 19 car, is 1 lap down.
Kurt Busch in the 97 behind Martin, his teammate. Earnhardt Jr. 2 laps down in 34th.
Okay, Mark Martin and Kurt Busch, a second, 1 6/10 seconds behind the leader, Rusty Wallace.
Matt.
Bill, when they came out of turn 3, Pat Tryson keyed their radio and said, Mark, they're all lined up for you. They're all sitting ducks. Now just go get them. He's got his 97, the teammate of Busch, though, trying him on the inside.
Boy, Busch got a great run off that turn 1 and goes by Mark Martin. Remember, folks, the first half of the race, this 97 car was absolutely the class of the field.
And that might be an understatement. He was stout.
He was. But he's got a lot of distance to make up on Rusty Wallace and Carl Edwards.
And Carl Edwards has had a good car today, too. Had to start at the rear of the field. How about the 2, Marty?
Well, Bill just spent some time with Larry Carter, the crew chief for Rusty Wallace, the man who made the call to take these 2 tires, even though the driver was trying to talk him into 4. Remember, they do that problem, that left rear chain, which won't pull up that left rear tire. So 4 tires would have taken them a long time. He said, you know what? This is our best shot to win the race, and we don't know. Clean air can make all the difference in the world for the 2 car. Alan?
Well, crew chief Bob Osborne for Carl Edwards is rolling the dice a little bit here, guys. He took right side tires only on their stop at lap 138. Right side tires only this time at lap 163. Last time that car had a set of left sides put on it, lap 120. 80 laps to the finish from there.
Well, you've got... Go ahead, Matt. 97 is really fast right now.
He's moving back to the front now. Kurt Busch told Jimmy Finnick, says, look, I feel like Mark is beating me off the corner. That's where I need help. So Jimmy made a chassis adjustment and an air pressure adjustment to try to make the winning adjustment to get this car back up to the front. He's motoring away. He's got the 29 of Harvick directly ahead.
All right, that time by, Kurt Busch was almost 2 seconds behind the leader, Rusty Wallace. Rusty Wallace was the fastest car that last lap.
Well, Rusty's got a good car, just 2 tires. You wonder if they'll hold up. Here comes Kurt.
A third-place car, Kevin Harvick, with 29. Dave, can he hold off the 97?
I don't think so, BP, based on the way the 97's running. And look at him take a look on the inside right now. And I want to watch this myself. Here comes Kurt Busch. Holy cow, that car is fast. For Kevin, remember, he was the lucky dog back on lap 129. On that pit stop, they adjusted the left rear shock. Crew Chief Todd Berrier said, we got to try something. They wanted to put just a little more tight into that very loose race car, and then they did fuel only this last time, as we noted.
There's a surprise. Busch was the fastest car that lap.
Oh, they were 4 wide there off turn 3 for just a moment. As he is coming strong.
Rusty Wallace, a 4-time winner at this track. His final season in the Nextel Cup Series. Carl Edwards, one of the bright young stars, runs second. Kurt Busch, the defending series champion.
Mark Martin 6 goes by Kevin Harvick.
Yep.
Now it's just a matter of Kurt Busch can run those guys down in front of him. And the way he's going right now, I think he can.
Yeah, we got 30 laps. After all, this thing is not going to be over in the next 5 minutes.
Well, yesterday in the Busch race, we saw David Green with a remarkable charge.
Wow, look at that last lap time there, BP. That was quite a bit faster. He knocked a half a second off the lead right there in 1 lap.
Busch almost a half a second faster than Rusty that last lap. The 97 is coming, and I think the 6 is going to get there too.
At this point, with just a little less than 30 laps to go, Jack Roush has 3 of the top 4 cars. Edwards, Busch, and Mark Martin.
So Rusty Wallace has a rearview mirror full of Roush racing cars. Can Rusty hold on? Can the Roush Army march by? We'll find out when we come back to Pocono. 174 laps are complete here at Pocono. Rusty Wallace still leads, but Kurt Busch has gotten around his teammate Carl Edwards into second and is chasing down that Miller machine in a hurry.
Well, he was 2 seconds behind him just 3 or 4 laps ago. Now he's a half second behind Rusty Wallace.
Marty?
Well, they just radioed to Rusty Wallace, Larry Carter's crew chief did, and he said, you know what, that 97 is going to catch you, and when he does, don't waste any time. He's faster than you. Let him go. Rusty said, 10-4.
Mac Kenseth off the pace.
Right front flat.
Jesser has gotten things going back on the lead lap.
Yep. And that will hurt his championship chances. Just 6 races to go in the race to the chase for the Nextel Cup. Dave, how about Matt?
Yeah, they thought they might have turned things around. He was a lucky dog earlier, but it's really gone sour for Matt, and that is a right front flat tire on the 17.
Thank you, sir. Here comes Kurt.
Yeah, you see, Kurt Busch has got 4 fresh tires, or better tires. Now here you go. There's the point right there from Rusty Wallace, and he's not even going to push it. Well, Kurt didn't take it there. May not have saw the gesture.
So he's telling him where to pass it.
Yeah, he said, go ahead and take me on the left because Rusty's car is sliding up the racetrack and Kirk can run low. He's got more grip down on the bottom than the guys that took just 2 tires.
Oh, here he comes.
For the lead.
Man, he's getting off that turn 3, talking about Kurt Busch in that 97.
Caution flag is out. And who was the leader when it came out? Debris.
Kurt Busch was the leader.
Busch was the leader.
Okay.
What are you looking over NASCAR for, Bill?
Just looking around. You got to use all your resources.
Tell you what, they got that pace car out quick.
2 was in front.
Oh, darn it.
At the last scoring loop.
It was not at the start-finish line, but at the last
scoring loop.
So evidently there's not a loop at the start-finish line.
They need to put these loops a little bit closer. It's just a matter of time. Trust me, Bill.
What are you going to do?
About what?
24 to go.
If you're who?
Well, let's say...
Well, let's see. If you are Ryan Newman, Jimmy Johnson, Elliott Sadler, you might stop and change 4 tires. These guys have seen pit road for the last time.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So Rusty Wallace is the race leader.
Now, Rusty may be asking for 4 tires.
Alan, how about car 99?
Well, I'm sitting here listening to their radio, Mr. Weber, and I'm a little bit confused. I thought they were going to come in. Now I think they might not. Now I think they might. I think they're playing a little poker with some of their competitors.
Yeah, they're hoping some of the other teams are monitoring the radio and say, oh, he's going to pit, so we'll pit with him.
The caution was for debris from the 17 brake rotor. Scott Wimmer is the lucky dog. The car's 13th on back pitted. That included Ryan Newman, Tony Stewart, Ricky Rudd, Bobby Labonte, Jamie McMurray, and Jimmy Johnson. Alan?
Yeah, Bill, just hanging out down here in Carl Edwards' pit and listening to his radio. He had these comments just a moment ago under the caution.
Mark's really pressuring me. If you want, you can tell Mark, if he'll just stay in line and we can leave him a little bit, if he's faster, I got no problem just letting him go. But I don't want to let him go at the very start if I get screwed and hung out,
Carl Edwards had a meeting with Jack Roush a week ago before the New Hampshire race. Jack told him there are 2 ways to go about this race to the chase. You can go all out every lap trying to get every position, and maybe win a few races, and maybe crash a few times and finish in the 40s, or you can be smart about it, be willing to accept a 3rd, 5th, or 8th place finish when you have to, and we can be in this race for the championship. Jack said, your choice either way. I won't tell you how to do it.
Well, Carl was 12th last week, but 39th, 33rd, and 38th in the races leading up to that.
But right now, Carl needs every position he can get. Currently, he is 10th in the chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup. Only 10 points in front of Jeremy Mayfield. If he falls back 3 positions, that puts Jeremy Mayfield in 10th.
Rusty Wallace, the race leader, was leading at the previous scoring loop when the caution came out. You revert to the scoring loop most recently passed by the cars on the track. 21 to go. And here they go toward turn 1.
Wallace made a great corner down in turn 1. Oh, here comes Mark falling Jr. up on the inside of Carl Edwards. And Carl wisely backs off, lets those cars go. Oh, or does he? He let Jr. go anyway.
The 8 car, though, is 2 laps down.
And the 19 car, Mayfield, is a lap down.
But as Benny has pointed out, since they've worked on that 8 car, he has been a fast car. He just could not make up the 2 laps. Rusty Wallace. Faster by an eyelash that lap. Kurt Busch looking at the 2.
Now Mark can't hardly catch the 99 car. Mark Martin in the 6. Matt, what's going on?
BP a lap ago, he was side by side with someone in the tunnel turn, and Mark was not happy. Said you don't go side by side in the tunnel turn. Now he's just trying to get back his composure and try to work his way back toward the front.
That would be his teammate, Matt. 99 car, Carl Edwards.
You know, behind the front four, the 9 car of Casey Kane. What a day they've had.
And you're right, currently in 5th position.
There's Mark underneath Edwards right there. Gets the spot.
Yep.
Need to go ahead, get the 8 out of his way. 8 out of his way.
Talking about the spotters.
Allen.
Hey, just to add on Carl Edwards, his spotter, Bobby Hudson, told him it was Mark Martin behind him and that there was a gap behind Mark to a lap car, that there was no challenge for position. He did yield that spot to Mark, as we discussed before, and we heard from him before.
The lap car would be the 19 of Mayfield, then 9 of Kane is on the lead lap, and so is Harvick in 6th.
Here we go, battle for the lead.
Kurt Busch, inside of Rusty Wallace.
Hey, that looked pretty easy, didn't it?
Off of 3 to the start-finish line. And 17 to go.
Now, does Mark have enough?
To get up there and catch Rusty.
No, but he had a good point. The 8 car, drifting high there, has been pretty stout.
He's been as fast as anyone since they changed that front spring, and he got himself 2 laps down.
There's Martin.
Meanwhile, back here we see a battle between Michael Waltrip in 15 and Brian Vickers in 25. Battle for the
8th spot.
Oh,
He's trying.
Here comes Vickers.
He's got the spot. Got the preferred line, I should say. Michael will run in there pretty hard.
Yep. A 25 car Vickers finished 2nd to Carl Edwards here just 6 weeks ago.
Boy, Michael's got his car running really good on that outside line in turn 3. Been doing that all day long.
Just that 1 lap, Kurt Busch opened up a 1-second lead over 2nd place Rusty Wallace.
Trying to get cozy.
It is.
Newman in the 12, Rudd in the 21, Jeff Gordon in the 24. That's all for position. 11th, 12th, 13th. How about Gordon, Dave?
What they've been trying to do with the 24 car all afternoon is to get it to handle in traffic like it is now, although the 18 handling a little bit better. But they were very, very tight. They got it loose. In fact, Jeff radioed before the last caution, well, we got it loose now, which means when it's by itself, it's hard to handle. Matt?
Marty, how about it?
I'll take it here, Bill, and that's the 4 fresh tires of Bobby Labonte going around Jeff Gordon. Just the kind of day the 18 team needed. Coming off the top 5 last week at New Hampshire, it's been a solid day. Bobby's wanted no changes on the last 3 stops. They have moved up 6 spots in the championship in the last 5 races, and he's been very pleased all afternoon long with that 18 car.
And Tony Stewart has moved his way up to 10th.
After stopping and changing 4 tires just a few laps ago.
And how about Jimmy Johnson up to 16th? After battling most of the day just to get back on the lead lap.
Stewart taking a spot. His tires are coming in handy right now.
Yep.
Well, here comes Vickers trying to get back by Tony Stewart. Says, not so fast, Mr. Stewart. You might have won all these races, but I'm going to try to take this spot away from you. And here comes Ryan Newman. That 12 car pushes Vickers. Oh, but Tony has that outside line and charges down in the corner. Great race. Great battle for about 4 or 5 spots there.
And you saw the rapid progress Stewart has been making. Boy, he's had a great month of July, hasn't he, Tony? Started in late June. Started here, really, in June.
Got a second place at Michigan. Terrific run, and went on to Infineon, won the race, won Daytona.
Could have won Chicago, did win New Hampshire. He's currently 9th here at Pocono.
This guy, he just keeps ripping off laps.
2.5 second lead over Rusty Wallace. Earnhardt is off the lead lap. There's the 2 of Rusty and the 6 of Mark, Matt.
The 8 of Dale Jr. has gotten around the 2 of Wallace, but Mark Martin obviously frustrated on the radio. You can hear it in his voice, telling his team, you've got to do something about the 8. He is messing me up. I'm not good in traffic. They have talked to his spotter, Jimmy Kitchens, twice, Eddie Pardue has, but to no avail. They've also sent a crew member from the 6 pit down to the 8, asking for consideration once the 6 can get by the 2.
Looks like the 8 just got by the 2.
Yeah,
I don't know how much it's messing Mark up.
Junior drives by the second place car.
Yep. Does that mean anything for Indy, you think?
I think so, yeah. Very similar racetracks. And, you know, a lot of fellows that run well on this track will go to Indy and run well.
Which means Kurt Busch can't wait to get there.
Exactly.
You think they're bringing that same car?
Here we
They
go.
might be now.
No, I mean the 8.
Oh.
And Newman just pushes his way in the center.
A game of chicken.
Wow.
And Rudd, the veteran, backed out.
That's because these guys are going to slide at the racetrack and he's going to pass him again.
Here comes Bobby Labonte. This is all for position and very valuable points.
Good racing right there.
That's terrific. How about that Newman just pushing the nose of that car in the middle?
Hey, Alan, the 12's in front of this bunch.
Hey, guys, remember with, 62 laps to go, Ryan Newman had that flat right front. He came on the radio to his crew chief, Matt Borland, afterwards and said, okay, I guess we have to put on a clinic for him. And Matt said, well, let's just take it easy and drive our way up and get a top 10 finish. And Ryan said, you sure you don't want a clinic? I thought that little 3 wide was kind of a clinic in bravery to me.
I agree.
But he's about to lose a spot to Ricky Rudd, his 21 car. Trying his best to get by the 12. He's got him. That's the 10th position.
Oh, Scott Riggs off the pace. Very slow.
Yellow's out.
Caution on the track. Oh, a crash.
Mike Wallace, the 4 car. Left rear tire is flat. I don't know if that's what caused the spin or not.
Oh, he's got left rear, left front.
I guess just he spun.
Yeah, just spun. I don't know if they hit anything or not.
All right.
Well, that's going to help.
hit the wall, to be honest with you.
That's going to help Stewart. Those 4 fresh tires.
Might help Mark Martin, too.
Tony Stewart is up where, to 9th?
Yep. It's Kurt Busch, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, Carl Edwards, and Casey Kane, the top 5. Then Harvick, Biffle, Michael Waltrip, Stewart, and Ricky Rudd.
And it'll be a single file restart.
Exactly right. Let's see what we can see here.
Yeah, I think you got a little help.
All right, very top of the screen, we see Mike Wallace come off the corner. Jeff Gordon right behind him.
Nice move by Wimmer.
I don't think Wallace.
Or Elliott Sadler, I guess.
Ooh, Nemechek.
Yeah, Nemechek.
Goes around. Ooh, almost in the inside wall. Stopped just short.
Looks like Mike got hit by the 24.
Single file restart. Be a 7-lap shootout here at Pocono. Rusty Wallace is between a couple of Roush cars, 3 of them.
Wow, good restart from Kurt Busch.
See Jimmy Johnson with those fresh tires. Trying to drive to the inside. Biffle trying to get on the inside of Kevin Harvick. Can't quite make it. Here comes Michael Waltrip on the outside of Biffle.
And Mark.
Yep. He's going to try it.
Oh. Yeah, we're working our way towards a big wreck while we're working towards, just as fast as we can.
I think that 2 car, it's not faster, but it's going to be hard to pass.
Well, I think Mark's having a lot of trouble getting behind other cars. You heard him talking about Earnhardt. I just don't think his car's handling when he's in traffic.
And it seems to get better after a few green flag laps. Kurt Busch will try and pull away.
Yeah, Kurt's loving this.
Yes, sir. Off of 3. 6 to go.
Bonnie all over the wall there.
Labonte realized that wall was coming up close to him, but he's in a position you can't back off now. Just got to hold the throttle down. And like I said, we're trying to wreck as fast as we can.
Whoa! There we go.
Michael Waltrip
accident in the wall. He was running 8.
Oh, man. And the caution flag is out. But he and Biffle got together.
Yeah.
Oh, we're bad, Biffle. Biffle wrecked me.
Michael Waltrip crashed in qualifying. Still had a decent lap. Had to start at the back.
Take a look at this here. These guys are racing hard, and comes Michael. He's going to go down around the outside of him. He's going to try. Something happened with Biffle.
Sure did.
Left front tire blew out.
Sure did.
I think something broke on the left front on Biffle's car, didn't it?
Yeah, well, whatever happened, it went, it broke, left front tire went out, and that's how he got into Michael. Alan?
Yeah, well, you got it. Biffle just called in on his radio, said, I had a left front go down, I had a tire go down, that's why I got into Michael.
Yeah.
And Biffle, as of right now, 2nd in the championship standings.
But he's on pit road presently. Let's go on board to Michael Waltrip and see this and listen to it.
Hang on, camera.
Hold on to it.
Goodbye, camera.
Man, that's expensive. Boy, Michael Waltrip had another good run spoiled. There's the 15, Dave.
Yep, they're working on it. And as you said, it was such a great day for him here. It worked his way back up to the front from the rear of the field at the start of this race and had a pretty good race car starting out in 8th at that last restart and battling for position. And obviously very upset with the way they have to finish this event.
Yeah, and he's sitting there thinking that he got wrecked, too.
Absolutely, yeah. And they don't know. I don't know if they watched our replay yet. They have not commented on it.
Biffle's also been on pit road.
There's Joey Meyer, the fella here. That's the spotter for Michael Waltrip.
And then to his left,
Biffle's spotter.
Joel Edmonds, yes.
Between third 2 and 3.
So I guess by now they realize that Biffle had a flat tire.
Those guys have a tough job up there, too.
you could see the sparks first. It's just being at the wrong place at the wrong time for Michael.
Man. I tell you what, he did a fantastic job not to hit that wall any harder than he did.
Him on the restarts. Carl Edwards may make a run at Mark down here in turn 1.
Oh! Dale Jarrett trying to block, but Murray didn't work too well. Here comes Jamie.
A pump Mark Martin looking under Rusty. Can he get him?
That's what he's got to do. He's going to do it. He's got to do it early, but couldn't get underneath him far enough.
Rusty with the block.
I think Mark just loses the nose when he gets real close to Rusty's car.
The two guys may be at this racetrack for the final time in their careers. The final couple of laps.
Rusty a little bit slower off of 2 there than Mark was.
Those two guys are going to drive as hard as they can these last 2 laps. You watch.
He's for bragging rights.
Yes, it could be. And you never know if something happens to the 97. 2 to go.
Rusty put a little gap there that time.
Michael Waltrip with a spin, and the caution is out.
Uh-oh, overtime.
These guys are not playing.
No.
They want to go racing and get it done.
And Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte were side by side there too. That was for 8th.
And Stewart is up to the, as you said, the 8th position after changing 2 tires.
20 was ahead at the last scoring loop, so it'll be Tony in 8th, Bobby Labonte in 9th. Before this thing really erupts, Casey Kane, outstanding effort today, currently scored 5th. Ricky Rudd in 10th. Mike Bliss 11th.
And Michael just has no rear downforce on that car.
His spoiler has been, his deck lid has been bent up and blocking the rear spoiler, so you're right, no downforce at all.
So you want to drive a Nextel Cup car, huh? Here you go.
Not like this.
That's why I don't like, why I'm against this. Going out with wrecked cars because of points.
Hold on to it.
Because they wreck again?
Are you all right?
Sorry?
Because they wreck again?
Yeah. They wreck again, and when you wreck the second time, you got less cushion. So when you back it in once, okay, you took all the absorbent away. When you back it in twice, you don't have a whole lot left.
So Michael Waltrip tiptoes back toward the pits. Kurt Busch following the pace car. Had hoped to be in victory lane by now. And Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin will get one more crack.
So we have completed lap 199. Next time by, my guess is we'll get 1 to go on 200. So this race will be 202 laps long.
If the race reaches its scheduled conclusion point under the caution, NASCAR will make one attempt to get a green, white, checkered finish. Matt?
Now, Bill, before the last restart, Kurt Busch went through the motions of what a driver does when you get ready for a restart, and this is what he told his team.
I just did one of those wheel spins to clear the rubber off the rear tires, and then it shook the tires a little bit. I went for the brake pedal, and it went straight to the floor. It's back right now, so that's what's going on. The wheel spin shoved the pedal out.
And if you could have seen the faces on the team at that moment when he said that, but he's out front. One more shot here to put this win in the bank for Kurt Busch, his first, if he can hold on to it here at Pocono.
I'll tell you one thing, I don't care where you are, you're going to need brakes when you get down to turn 1.
I would think so.
I wonder what he's talking about. Is he talking about the rotors knocking the pistons back?
I guess.
Or the pads?
The wheel spin thing, Clint Boyer giving you some credit yesterday after his fine run in the Busch Series race.
I don't think he was giving me any credit. I just think that, like I said, I think Clint was beating himself up on what he may have done wrong, and I don't think he did anything. He ran a great race. It's
Yeah,
just
he did.
David Green
He did.
had a little bit better car there.
Yeah, congratulations to David Green.
So actually, we're on 200 now. The next time by will be the green on 201. So this race will actually be 203 laps long.
One attempt for a green, white, checkered finish.
I sure hope no one was in a fuel situation.
Kurt Busch is the defending series champion. They tried this here in the spring. Still ended up finishing under the caution.
Busch won where this year? Phoenix?
Mm-hmm. And then they started struggling.
Yeah.
And they have worked their way back. Came in here 5th in the championship standings.
Mark says he ain't gonna wreck you, but he is gonna race you, but he says he's got an idiot behind him.
Okay.
I'm going on into 1. He's gonna go to the bottom. I know he is, okay?
That's Rusty Wallace and his crew talking.
Oh, don't you love that stuff?
Rusty Wallace has not won this season. Busch has the 1 win, the 6 top 5s, and the 10 top 10 finishes.
One thing about those spotters, they are not politically correct.
No. Sometimes they embellish. But a lot of times they serve as a great motivator for their driver.
They always get their point across. So
one way or the other. Marty.
Okay, just to let you in on the story, Bill, here is the conversation that precipitated the conversation you heard just a moment ago.
Bro, you got Martin spotter there? Sir. So let's take it nice easy and bring these babies home now.
And Rusty's point was, let's just take it nice and easy. And then Mark's reply back was, what you heard. I'll take it nice and easy, but I have people behind me I'm not happy with right now.
Well phrased, Marty.
Well, they come out of 3. One attempt to get a green, white, checkered finish to give the fans a finish under the green, a racing finish. Kurt Busch has been strong on the last 2 restarts and has got another good one here.
Man, oh man, what a restart he got.
I mean, you know, once okay, twice, but 3 times. Somebody's sleeping back there.
They step out of line behind him. Busch leads. Martin follows Wallace into 1.
Casey Kane on the outside. Ooh, Carl Edwards gets a little bit sideways, but Kane, and here we go.
And this will bring out, let's see if it brings out the caution. Kane in the wall.
Nope.
Stays green. Busch continues to lead. Very disappointing for Casey Kane. It worked his way up to the top 5. Busch pulls away.
Rusty Wallace is pulling away from the 6-car Mark Martin.
Yeah, that little deal back there gave him some breathing room between Edwards, and now we got Newman trying to take a spot from Carl Edwards.
Last lap. Newman and Edwards battle. Busch trying to pull away. Wallace looking for a 2nd place finish. Newman under Edwards. But Carl hangs on. Newman continues with the clinic.
Here comes Stewart. Stewart's got a head of steam right there.
And his teammate Bobby Labonte behind him. Caution is out. That will decide it. Kurt Busch is the race winner. One attempt at the green-white checkered finish. The caution comes out. Kurt Busch will come back and get the checkered flag under the caution. As soon as the caution comes out, the field is frozen. They are on the track. Not by scoring loop, but by visual sightings and by TV cameras around the track. There was no question here, though. Kurt Busch was the leader.
Awesome job, guys. Awesome job, Kurt Busch. Awesome.
And Kurt Busch takes the checkered flag at Pocono. Outstanding runs for Wallace and Martin. Edwards in the back of the field. To 4th, Newman gets a top 5.
You're awesome. Engineer, you're fitting in. Great job, everybody. Rick Howes, you the man.
They battled through a tough day last week in New Hampshire, got a 2nd place finish. Come here at Pocono.
Well, they got to be looking forward to Indianapolis.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. Matt.
Well, Jimmy Finning, a big win. Who's this little guy?
That's my son. That's my best friend in this world right there, my buddy Joel. Tell you one thing, Kurt Busch, awesome. This Irwin team, this Irwin Ford Taurus, can't say enough about it today.
Describe his restarts. Those were excellent.
I'll tell you, I got to thank Kurt with his restarts, and I got to thank the gear shop back home.
There you go. Roush Racing sweeps Pocono in 2005.
Busch led 131 of 203 laps and gets his 2nd victory of the season. Mike Bliss got a top 10 coming home 9th.
And Ricky Rudd, he fought and he fought. Came back to finish 10th.
Jimmy Johnson, who was off the lead lap, remains the championship leader with a 12th place finish. Jeff Gordon comes home 13th. Greg Biffle falling all the way back to 17th. Michael Waltrip, 26th.
You know, Jack must hate to have his engines abused.
Oh, you know he does. You know he does. He likes winning, but let me tell you something. He doesn't like hearing those rev limiter chips bouncing.
Might just drive that thing straight to Indy. Market for about 10 days. rates. Some of the guys already back on pit road. Let's go down to Marty.
An outstanding day for Rusty Wallace, a second-place finish, and what a great race between you and Mark Martin there at the end.
Yeah, that was a good one, no doubt about it. They kept having those restarts. I was going, man, I don't need no more of these starts because he was killing me down to one, but I was getting it pretty good off the last turn there. But it was a good run for the team. Gaining other points, getting some more points today, which was good. You know, this was I was trying to skirt this joint. This was a tough place, and we got out here clean. So let's go on to Indy now and see what happens.
I guess Rusty his best finish of the season, a second, Matt.
And Mark Martin's climbing out of the 6th car, taking off. Your heel protectors. A great run, but were you losing your brakes near the end, Mark?
Oh man, we had a little trouble all for 120 laps, so brakes really weren't a major problem. Man, I want to thank Pat and the Viagra Ford team. This is a really good car. That next to left side of tires we could pull away at will. The last set just didn't seem to want to run quite as good. Man, we were set so good on strategy, and then they had to have 50 cautions at the end. I love that old school racing when they don't have all those cautions, man. But anyway, it was a great car because on all the restarts we could always hold our own, and it's a joy to drive a race car like this.
Did you have some issues with lap cars and also maybe even your teammate Carl Edwards there at one point, Mark?
No, I mean, Carl was just racing. You know, and lap cars, these things are aero sensitive, man. Something terrible. In front, it was easy for me to pull away from Kurt. And behind, I couldn't keep up with him. So he had a faster car on every run except that one. That one set of tires, my car would fly.
Mark Martin finishes 3rd today in Pocono. Marty?
A great run for Carl Edwards, and some contact there with the 9 on the last few laps. I know you went to look at the right front, Carl.
Yeah, to me, our Office Depot team did a great job. This is a perfect day for us, but to be honest with you, that ruins our day. I know it doesn't make Casey's day any better, but Casey's an awesome competitor, and that just as an accident, and it ruined his day. So I feel terrible about it. I'm really proud of our team, but I mean, I just can't be too happy about something like that. It's not the way I'd like to end up with this, in this race.
All right, a 1st and a 4th for Carl Edwards at Pocono in 2005. Alan?
Well, Kurt Busch used the win at New Hampshire last year to propel himself through the summer into the chase for the Nextel Cup, which he went on to win. He almost won last week at New Hampshire, a stellar drive through the traffic twice, so he put off his propelling win in the race to the chase by a week and has stomped the field here in Pocono today. His girlfriend Eva in, and I'll have to find out the name of the little friend there that was in the picture. Kurt, congratulations. What a dominant drive.
This was sweet. Just a whole effort from our team to be able to build a car like this. It starts at the chassis shop, guys hanging bodies on them. Armbruster's a great guy, his crew that puts these bodies on these cars. And then Jimmy Fenning, what else could I say? And the engineer. And then this engine, we were motoring down the straightaway. I have to thank the Roush Shades combination. This is a great win. We were real happy with our car. Every practice, this is a real dominant win. It's something that we don't do all that often. And I'm very proud of my team, our great sponsors with Irwin Industrial Tools, Sharpie, and then of course we've got Crown Royal and Smirnoff Ice. Bunch of primary sponsors, but we're having fun. This is what we needed to get things back on track.
You got them all in there, too. You got shuffled back with 80 laps to go after having a dominant car in the first half of the race. Didn't get back to the front till they were inside of 20 laps to go. How concerned were you were going to be able to make it all the way back?
It didn't look like we could pass many cars once we got shuffled back there. It was a combination of dirty air. Our car was out front all day, so we got tight behind other cars. Made good adjustments, but then we were loose, overcompensating. So we were just trying to hit the right combination, but it was just a matter of time. I thought we could do it. We stick to our game plan, and it's just been great to bounce back like this, get ready for the chase. It's coming up. Our fans are sticking with us. It's great to be able to dominate like this, new fans, and just with the championship, the fans have been great this year. Thanks for all the Kurt Busch fans out there.
Congratulations, Kurt.
Thanks, guys. It's awesome.
Kurt Busch, winner today in the Pennsylvania 500. Dave Burns.
Jimmy Johnson finishes 12th after starting 9th. The good news is you retain the championship lead, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's not a bad deal. It's nice to bounce back from having a bad day like we did today. Got trapped in the pits and then just didn't have a lot of speed, but still, a lot of hard work in the pits, a lot of hard work from the crew guys and some hard racing, and salvaged a decent finish out of today. So all in all, not bad.
He's still number 1. New number 2, though. Tony Stewart is chasing him close.
Thanks, Dave. Kurt Busch, the race winner. Wallace, Martin, Edwards, and Newman, your top 5 good runs for Bliss and Rudd. There's Jimmy 12th, Gordon 13th, Elliott Sadler in a backup car, Biffle back to 17th, Casey Mears a top 20. Joe Nemechek had dismal luck today. Michael Waltrip way back in 26th. Everybody else at least one lap down behind Sterling Marlin. There's Junior. Car was good, but he was already 2 laps down, couldn't make it any better. Take a look at the unofficial championship standings. Jimmy Johnson leads by 66. Tony Stewart in the second. Biffle, Wallace, and Bush.
I'll tell you, from 8th to about 12th, though, it's pretty darn tight.
And 6 races remain in the race to the chase. Next Saturday, there's more NASCAR action on TNT. NASCAR Busch Series Racing from St. Louis. It's a salute to the Wallace brothers. Catch all the action beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Next on TNT on the East Coast, don't miss TNT's Into the West. And for our viewers out west, get in on the drama of LAPD, Life of the Beat, next on TNT. Kurt Busch wins at Pocono. Next up, 2 weeks from today, Indianapolis. We'll see you there. Thanks for having us in for the race. So long from Pocono.